Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
What's up, everybody? This is Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your what? Your shmoney. It's your girl, Constance Carter, and today we are having a heart-to-heart Black discussion. Black women don't nearly have enough. Here's what I know. When a woman starts feeling inadequate, the first instinct is often to achieve more. I just had this thought today. Go get another degree, land a bigger title, prove we're enough. But sometimes what we're calling ambition is actually depression dressed up in productivity. We're talking about how success becomes our shield, how we overachieve to outrun our pain. From the boardroom to the books, many of us are grinding not just for goals, but to cope. So today we are pulling back the curtain, y'all, on the emotional roller coaster of the hustle and asking, what happens when degrees don't heal what's hurting? I think we all have this superwoman, because I have the best, the dopest, the most amazingest queens on the planet on the panel with me today that are superwomen in their own right. You know what? Let me off the cuff. Let me do this. I wonder if anybody knows the lyrics. Early in the morning, I cook breakfast at your table. And see, we all know it. Because what's the chorus?
I even knew what that meant.
What's the chorus?
I'm not your superwoman.
Come on. You better sing that thing.
I'm not the kind of girl you can take out and think that everything is okay.
Boy, I
am only human.
Yes, I got some super women here. And so listen, I think we've all have taken up that moniker a time or two just in life, trying to achieve, trying to strive, to be great, to do all the things that we do. So before we get in this discussion, I want to talk to my super women queens on the panel. First, we're going to go with the lead singer over here, Dr. Lene Javette. She is the brand your brilliance coach. She is going to show you how to monetize and brand your unique genius. And guess what? She's getting ready to have a conference at the end of this month in a couple of weeks, the Black Power, which I'm excited to be speaking at. And I'm just excited to just see what the impact she's about to do on all the women. So Dr. Lene, what's up? And then we have Miss Therapist, the coach, the instructor, the PhD, the professor, all of the things, Dr. Alicia Watkins. How you doing, lady? All right. And then we have the wealth strategist herself, Miss Aisha. What's up, Miss Aisha? All right. And then last but finally not least, rounding up the rear, the marriage, the money. Wait. Hold on. Let's do it again. What is it? The marriage, the motherhood, and the money-making coach herself. What's happening, Nomalenga? How you doing? All right, ladies, super women. Let me ask you before we get into the video, have you ever felt like you were everything to everybody and you may have been overwhelmed in one way or another? I'm going to start with you, Dr. Alicia. Yeah. or no?
Let me tell you, I'm a college professor, and in the month of April, this is the most disastrous month for all college professors, particularly
Why?
moms, because we're at the end of the academic year and everything is due. I'm working with students every day about these big projects. Plus, I got my own life going on. I got birthday parties, graduations. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I have everything on my shoulders. Easter is coming up, and of course, I'm hosting. I need to learn how to say no, but you can't. What are you going to do? So I'm head over heels right now. I'm just going to try to muddle through this until at the end of May when things kind of lighten up a little bit. Yeah.
You just make sure you relax when it's time to relax.
I will. Well, you know what? My husband will force me to do that. He
Good,
will make
good,
sure
good.
I can relax.
Amen. Amen to that. Dr. Lene, what about you? You ever feel just like superwoman, everything, everybody overwhelmed?
All the time and every day. I'm
What
working on it though. I'm working on, like Dr. Alicia said, say no, respect my boundaries, and having more work-life harmony, not balance. Because right now I feel like I'm trying to balance everything and I'm failing tremendously. So I'm really going to start working on the harmony of it all, so that I can have more ebb and flow, peace, etc.
How is the harmony going for you though? Because I know if we try to balance, because balancing never works, and we end up failing, that's like a message that we're telling ourselves when we don't have the balance that we think we should have, but we relish in harmony. And how is that working for you?
Harmony, it looks like, so I'm really focused on I say it this way, the best BBL, right? So the best business, body, and life. Like those are the three things that I want to focus on. My business, I want it to be the best, not the best that somebody else says the best for me, where I can be happy and I can live my life. The best body, I'm trying to get these muscles to come in.
Let's go, muscles.
And then the best life, like I'm gonna be 50 next year. I want to live more life. If I only have 5 years left, what are the things that I want to do? Where are the places that I want to go? What are the experiences that I want to have? So I want to start really just living life and enjoying it, not just this work that we do. I'm a servant leader, so I'm consistently serving, and I don't always serve myself.
Yeah. Amen. You listen, you talk about almost 50. My son is 17. He'll be going to college next year. So he has one more year. And coach was talking about reclassing him and, having him stay back so he could play ball. I'm like, I've been waiting on this my whole life. I turned 50. Y'all got to get up out. Y'all got to go. I've been waiting on you. Kidding me? Hell nah. So I feel you. Like 50 is just like new me. Right. Noma, what about you? You ever feel I know your marriage first and then your motherhood second and then your money. Do you ever find it hard, or do you have to be everything to everybody trying to do all those things?
Absolutely. That brand, marriage, motherhood, and money making was actually originally a tool to remove 100 things and try and focus on the three central, most important ones. But like Dr. Alicia said, there's other things. If you're a member of a church, you can't say no when they ask you to do something. Extended family is going to ask you to host. Your kid's going to have things going on. It doesn't end, but it does help to kind of center yourself around what's the most important. And then, sometimes you're just going to have to step back from the other things. But definitely, it's always the juggling. Always.
That's what we do. And it seems like men don't know how to multitask. We are the consummate multitaskers. They have one track mind. I'm doing this and that's it. Like you can't walk and chew gum at the same time, brother. No, I'm doing this and that's so we have to be the multitasker, because how else we got to have 8 arms. How else is everything going to function and run if we don't do what we're doing to kind of hold everything together?
So, isn't it hilarious that we have the stereotype that men are the ones who cheat, yet they can't multitask?
Well, we can do it and come home and act like nothing happened.
We do it every day. We do it without blinking. You see it every day. Most powerful men are surrounded by women, because the women are the ones that help them keep organized. That's why sometimes you say work husband, but mostly you say a work wife, because your assistant or whomever it is that you turn to in business, that's the person who helps you stay organized, get to your meetings on time, make sure that the people paid you, make sure that you make sure that you have your anniversary gift for your wife, like whatever it is, right? We're gonna make sure that you look good, feel good, you're out here in the streets doing what you're supposed to do. So it's important to have a woman that can do all this, and then the woman take care of her own family.
Listen, there was this white guy, and he's so funny. You got to follow him. I forget his name, but one of the things he said is, he was like, I don't want my woman to be masculine. I don't want her to, have to do all this stuff. He's like, being masculine, being a man is hard. We got to fight. We got to do this. He's like, I just want the soft. I want her to be soft. I need her to help me with this. I don't want her to do all. I don't want her to come home and have all the stuff of the day. He was like, you got to deal with taxes. You got to do it. You got to fight people. He's like, I want a woman just to come home to and just rest with. And I'm like, yo. That's the dream right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that's Noma Langa's situation. Is that how it is for you? Noma?
Yeah. How old am I?
No, I said I think that's your situation.
Yeah, I definitely think one of the roles of a husband is to be a gatekeeper from people stressing and overwhelming and doing all kinds of things to his wife. That's definitely one of his most important roles.
Yeah, that is true. But I know Aisha needs to go. But I would say when I lived in Guyana, it was like $15.
Guyana or Ghana?
Guyana, South America. It was $15 to have somebody come clean my whole house.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much. We had drivers. Mm-hmm. We had 2 drivers. We had a driver during the week, and we had a driver on the weekend and at nights.
What a life! Why did you come back?
So it was the third world.
Affordable.
Why did you come back?
But that's not happening here.
Why did you come back? Girl. All right, Aisha, I know that you are a wealth strategist and you help people with their money, and you're a mother and you're a wife and you're all the things. And you have this beautiful house that I see in the background every day. You got the flowers up, so you're making sure that everything is perfect. Do you find yourself overwhelmed at times?
Sometimes I do find myself overwhelmed, but I try to put in some perspective. I'm a wife first. I'm the mother, even though I'm a professional, but I was raised that way. And I'm a wife first and a mother. So my home, if my husband comes home, he comes to a quiet, loving home so we can really have a good time together, right? It's not about my work. My work to me is secondary. I love what I do and I help families, but no, my family is number one. That's just the way it goes. So yeah.
Yeah, man, that is amazing. And if you have a partner that's truly a partner, then it makes your life easy, right? So that shout out to you 3 ladies who have men that are actually partners that make your life easier. Because I heard all of you say that. Alicia, you said he gonna make me relax. He gonna make me sit down. Noma said he's my gatekeeper. He's my protector. And you said that I don't have to do everything. He's going to come and I'm going to make sure that we have a good time and we enjoy each other. And you need that. You need that balance. So I think that's awesome. We're going to go to a break. We're going to come back and then we're going to watch this video and we're going to further discuss. We're going to get that too.
It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
So as I so rudely got cut off. No, I'm just kidding. What I was saying before we went to the commercial, me and Dr. Lene, we gonna have that too. Right?
They didn't want us to get our blessing. I was like, I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. We will get it.
You don't want us to be great, Dr. Lene. Listen, let's look at the video and then let's have a discussion around it. But I love what they're saying. And what do you guys think for the women? Y'all super women, have you guys felt overwhelmed having to be everything to everybody? Or Are you guys living a soft life like Noma, Aisha, and Dr. Lisa said she ain't living a soft life, but her husband will allow her to relax. But from my vantage point, it looks like Noma Langa and Aisha are living the soft life. Are y'all able to live the soft life like them? Or are you out here trying to be everything to everybody? Chime in on the chat. Let's look at the video.
Black women will have depression and then go get a master's degree.
Okay, ladies, but can we talk about it? Because while that study, I think, inaccurately depicted why Black men are struggling with education, there's a reason why some of y'all got the degrees that you got. Black women are more likely to engage in high-functioning depression and overachievement as a trauma response. And that's essentially emotional avoidance, where striving for success and being booked and busy is really an escape of emotional pain. Some of us have used education as a path to worthiness and safety. So somewhere along the line, which I will tell you where, we've internalized that achievement means worthiness. And that often stems from childhood neglect, childhood trauma, and even racialized gender expectations. So this overachievement can likely be rooted in the desire to gain safety, control, and validation because we didn't have it earlier in life. And another thing, Black women facing unprocessed emotional pain may very well adopt a hyper-independent and ambitious attitude, but oftentimes it's just a way for us to protect ourselves emotionally. So while some of us are having these aha moments about why men aren't going to college, let's have an aha moment about what led you to getting all these degrees that you got. And why, in spite of all these degrees, you're still struggling in relationships, you're still struggling in friendships, and you're still struggling to take care of yourself.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, I can't relate to that because my striving has been based upon finances, and that's it. That's all. I ain't never try to prove nothing to nobody. These kids got to eat, and I got work to do. That's been it for me. So that's interesting, and I can't wait for you to break that down and therapize it for us, Dr. Alicia, because that's interesting. I mean, I'm sure that's obviously what some people think or how some people live, and y'all know I don't have a degree. I got the PhD, the public high school diploma. So that's as far as I've went. I do, am an overachiever, but that's simply because just like you said, Dr. Lene, I'm a servant leader. I lead. So that's who I am. That's my purpose. That's what I do. But mine's not rooted in the idea of me having to, prove anything to anybody. It's the bills. It's the legacy. It's the kids. It's all of those things. It's eating. It's living a good life. All those things for me. But that's my experience. That's not everybody's experience. So I'm going to ask you, Aisha, have you experienced anything like that? Or do you know anyone who's perhaps experienced, that type of, the need for validation through education?
Unfortunately, yes, I have met a few people that are like that, but for the most part, the women that I surround myself with are women are mostly like me, where though we have our degrees, but we still believe that we're a housewife first. We're mothers. That's our mindset. And a lot of my friends that actually, when we had our babies when they were young, master's degrees, some of them have their, PhD, but we all stopped working. We stayed home for like 11 years to raise our kids. Amazing. So we had the opportunity. So I haven't had the chance to really spend time with some of my friends that I know went to school over and over again. Even my family, I have two of them that, have their master's degree, PhD, and they're still single. But that's because I felt, why you keep going to school? You need to stop but they want to go to school and achieve more and more. And I feel bad because I think that affected them because now they're, they're single, but
they got degrees. Them degrees keeping them warm at night. Damn. Noma, wait, first of all, Aisha, where are you originally from?
Nigeria. So
are the women that you're around Nigerian?
In America, a mixture. I have Nigerian friends and I also have Caucasian friends that, we just raise our kids together as a community. Yeah, and my church group as well. So it's a dynamic group of women, not just one race of women. It's a dynamic group. But I have also, my friends that are from Nigeria. Nigerians are, we believe in education. It is like part of our identity. We want to have, but we still know that we're a housewife. We just know that's part of the way we're raised, and we want a man that will take care of us. We want to be where, I'm contributing, but my stuff are my stuff. You are the provider of the family. It's just the way, just the way. That's just the way I was raised. I can't think anyway different. But I understand other people's life, but my life is not like that. It's centered around family and making sure that my family has what they need, and I'm there for them, and I relax. Like this morning, I had a great time. I just had coffee, went outside. That's just the way I want my life to be. And it's always been that way even when I was a kid.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that for you. Noma, that's interesting because I remember last week, I think Dr. Lene said something about it being cultural. And you were like, well, not really, because in Botswana, the women are not like that. So it's not a cultural thing, right? So our women are not like that in Botswana? You're muted, sweetheart.
Oh, sorry about that. I was saying no. Actually, the first group of women that I met who could entertain the idea of quitting their high-powered careers, jobs, and all of that, and just surrendering to this life of putting family first, being home, and all of that, those were African American women, all of them. And even when I was younger in my 20s, I had reached a point where I had seen too much negativity where relationships and marriage were concerned. And I actually used to have this negativity of, I can't be bothered to do this. I'd rather be alone. And part of it was because I just had seen too much negativity. But I got around a bunch of African American women who were married. They were soft, they were sweet, they had wonderful husbands. And I thought, oh, wow, there's another life, Wow. And then the idea marinated, and I got married in my mid-20s. But no, it's not just cultural. There are women who are raised in our culture, according to our culture, who will put marriage first, even if they work or they have careers or whatever. Family is certainly a very strong trait that I find most Africans that I know put family first, no matter what you're doing. Even if you're getting your education and everything, family always comes first. My experience of living in the first world in America, I moved to the US when I was only 19 years old. My experience was a lot more individualistic, and you don't have as much family support. And I tried that, and it was awful. Trying to be what I thought you had to be as a wife and a mother full time, and then trying to balance it with being somehow high-powered professional sales executive, all of that. And I finally retired in my mid 30s, as a tenure track professor. And I to this day, I don't know how women do it. I don't think, yeah, I don't think it's
supposed to be doing it.
I just don't think it's possible to be your best at everything all at the same time. That's the way I'll put it. Yeah, there's just no way. It's impossible. You're going to fail miserably in some parts and excel in others. And I just don't think you should put yourself through that.
Yeah. No, I mean, that makes sense because it goes back to what Dr. Lene said. Like, yeah, I can't balance everything because I'm not going to be, something's going to lack. I have just to make sure that there's harmony there and do the best that I can. And we got to do the best we can with the cards that we're given, at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Like if we don't have a good, strong man like the two of you or the three of you do, then we have to, what we going to do? Not do? What we going to do? What we
have to get one.
Yeah, well, I mean, but we just can't have anybody. I can't have anybody up in this house. So we also have to be very selective on who we have. Listen, it ain't. I'm sure it's not a problem for Dr. Lene to get a man, or it's not a problem for me. But it's just the right one.
The right one.
Yeah, it's the right one.
On the right one.
But Dr. Lene has, because I know you got the degree. I don't know. I feel like that may be part of your story. Because you did get the degree, there was some sense of, just listening to your story and just as I go back over the things that you said, the sense of worthiness and self-worth kind of being tied into that education. Can you relate to that?
Oh, absolutely. For me, it's definitely, I completely wholeheartedly understand it and get it. When I was 12, I knew I wanted to be a doctor, but I thought I was going to be a MD. So I knew I wanted to be a doctor. At that point in time, when I was 12, I wanted to go to Spelman. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be an AKA. So at 12, I kind of had like this idea of who I wanted to be. But then I flunked out of 9th grade. And then I became a dancer at 19. And so I was like, oh, that's basically done. Now, I guess my future is done. I'm just going to go out here and get a job. And then just the way that God works, I ended up going and getting I didn't want dancing to be the end of my story. Like I was like, I don't want to go to my grave and that's all I've accomplished with my life. So I went and got my bachelor's degree. Then I got my MBA. And then randomly, my son, I got my MBA by accident. My son was with his dad and I didn't have nothing to do. So I was like, okay, well, let me go back to school. That's how I got my MBA. And then after I got that, I was sitting around and I was like, man, I think I could do this PhD thing. And I went to school and got a PhD. And so for me, it was running from my past. It was not wanting my identity to be tied to just that one thing that I had done in my life early on, but also it was a 12-year filling a fulfillment of my 12-year-old goals and dreams to become a doctor. Okay. It wasn't that MD like I thought. It's a PhD, but I believe it was destiny's just fulfillment. You know, I took the very long route, ups and downs, back and forth, highs and lows to get to what I dreamed about at 12. But yeah, so I think it's both. I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I absolutely love that for you. I love that you were able to, you have a great story, sis. Like, I was dancing and I was doing this and I was making bad choices and I flunked out of school but I'm a doctor. And so that's the story of resilience, and that, anybody can be inspired by, because if she could do it, she was a dancer. That's a good way of putting it, right? That's a good way. Right? But look at, she a doctor now, from dancer to doctor. Let's go. So I think that's very inspiring, for a lot of us. So I want to get to, I want Dr. Alicia to therapize all of this and wrap it in a bow. But we're going to do that when we come back from the break.
I know you're busy. You got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
First of all, I want to give a shout out to Dennis Spraggins, because he be on here every day on everybody's show. I think he on Dr. Lene's stream today. He be on my stream sometime. He be on the Fly. Oh, he on yours today, Alicia. He said he loved this show. He LUHDISSHO. He loved this show. So I love that you love this show, and I love that you are always tuned in, Dennis Spraggins. Thank you. Shout out to you. We appreciate your support. All right, Dr. Alicia, what you think? So let me ask you first. Is it something that you've dealt with personally? And if not, do you know people or kind of what is behind this?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to talk about personally. I mean, it's a two-way street. It's not like I'm thinking about marriage and motherhood and money, all of that first. I mean, my husband does as well. Like if I can't do all of this by myself. I never once said I can handle it all alone. So I always ask for help. I'm conscious of the fact that all of us are busy. But who would I be if I wasn't a therapist and a college professor? Like, I have to be able to incorporate that. I wouldn't be a good spouse. I wouldn't be a good mother if I wasn't living my purpose in life. So that's why I'm saying I need help. And the same thing with my husband. Like, who would he be if he didn't wake up every morning and talk about the stock market and money? So we have to strategize and work so that I can present a life where he can do what he needs to do, and he can present a life where I can do what I need to do, but we help each other, because I know I come first. He could be in the middle of a stream. If something happened, he will end that stream and come help me. I know he'll do that. So that's one thing I wanted to point out, that it has to be a two-way street. It just can't be one person. Now, the video that you showed, I think that whoever did that video, she's spot on, 100%. It starts so early that a lot of Black women are socialized to be this hero child. We are socialized to be the good one, the achiever, and we are applauded for that, our accolades. And so we want to take care of everybody else, and we're the positive role model. We take on this thing. And to me, I think parents need to be cognizant of how they put that kind of pressure on children, especially young girls, because children need to be children. When you're young, you should not be given the responsibility of adulthood as a child. You should be allowed to be a child, because what happens fast forward is that when you are in a relationship, it's very, very difficult for you to be vulnerable. And to be vulnerable, you have to be open, being a mess. You know, so people who grew up as hero children, when they get into relationships, it fails because their husbands or their spouses will complain and say, I can't get intimacy with this person. She's so hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get her to soften up, and she won't, because you're not.
Because you make us go out there and work. They make us go out there and work. We can't be soft.
Well, the thing is, it starts early. It's the socialization. It's how Black girls are socialized to take on the responsibility of everybody else. It happens with men too, but to be the star performer and you're recognized you get applauded for being the straight A student and achieving things, when, you know, you need to be applauded for who and what you are outside of these outside accolades. And what happens is that, are you comfortable being a mess? Are you comfortable being vulnerable? Are you comfortable saying, I made a mistake. I don't have it all figured out. I don't know what to do. And that's what a lot of husbands of these hero type women tend to complain about, rightfully so.
You know, so I don't know that woman, because most of my friends don't have degrees. However, I'm kidding. The biggest part though is, I think a lot of us as Black women, we do all that because we have to, not because we want to. So there is that element, I think, of the woman who, you know, trying to prove something, and, you know, I have to because I'm trying to cover up something. But then there are also women who are just doing it because they have to. They have no other choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's part of this came from slavery. Let's just think about the history of Black women in America. You have, first of all, Black women in the struggle did phenomenal in the struggle. We were holding it all up when nothing was there. And what happened is these stereotypes. We know the mammy stereotype. It's a terrible stereotype where it's like you're conditioned to want to take care of everybody else and no one's taking care of you.
Yeah.
You have this Jezebel stereotype, which is hypersexual. You're only seen by the sexual desires. And then you have this angry Black woman, when a lot of times Black women, it's the most compassionate thing you could do for a Black woman is to allow her to be upset, because there's many different things to be angry about. If you're a Black woman in America, you should be allowed to have some anger, but to pathologize human emotion, such as anger, is horrible to do to a group of people. And then what happens? We're fighting against all of this, and then we become the superwoman. It's a survival mechanism. I'm becoming a superwoman because I'm not going to be the mammy. I'm not going to be the Jezebel. I'm not going to be the angry Black woman. I'm going to hold it all together and do all of these wonderful things to be a superwoman in perfection. So it is a way to counter some of these negative stereotypes to be perfect. It's a counter measure. It's a counter message saying I'm perfect. I'm doing it all, in spite of these stereotypes that are placed upon me.
But to that, here's what we do know as Black women, and this is what y'all, come on, y'all, I know y'all know, we got to run faster, jump higher, work harder, do all those things just to be in the game. And it's exhausting. It is exhausting. It's freaking, you know, I built this great real estate company, the large Black-owned real estate firm in California. I had to make sure that my shit was excellent all the time just so I could be good. You know what I'm saying? Certain people wouldn't come work for me. My office was beautiful. Had an office on the water. I had another office, beautiful office. Made sure that when you came in there, you felt this great energy and synergy, all the things, right? Affirmations on the wall. It's beautiful, very modern, very, you know, high tech, all that stuff. But people still wouldn't come and do business with us simply because we're Black. So you had to walk in, you know, we always, and I made sure that, you know, that's how I taught the people who work for me, is that we always got to operate in excellence at all time. We ain't running no businesses. We running a business up in here. And so that's just what we have to do as Black women. We have to operate in excellence at all time. And that shit is exhausting. It is exhausting.
What is it saying? We got to work twice as hard to get half as far.
It is what it is, right? So you think about somebody just a white male doing the same thing as you or me. How much quicker will they make that million than we? They're going to make that million probably maybe 10 years before we make our first million, right? because they have access to things that we don't have access to. I mean, it's tough. We do it because we got to do it. But, we also need to we want to be soft, because somebody said, word of advice, ladies, you might make that money. What do you say? Lawrence, word of advice, ladies, it's cool making money and getting degrees, but learn when to turn on the boss chick and learn when to turn it off. Men that are providers are attracted to a woman. We want to be feminine. I don't want to be a man. I don't want to be masculine. I don't want to do this shit. Shit's hard.
Constance masculinely saying, I don't want to do that.
Listen, I had to get this aggression. I had to live in this. I want to be soft. I want to live the soft life. I want to be able to make my man coffee. You know what I'm saying? And just, just come home and let's watch Netflix. I want to do that shit too. Let's look at the other video. I'm getting red and stuff. Let's watch the other video.
Why does high functioning depression go unnoticed in Black women? Because we tend to mask our emotions, we mask our feelings through caretaking of other people, through perfectionism, through doing tasks, through staying busy, all in avoidance to being vulnerable. Because in our culture, a Black woman being vulnerable or having space for feelings is seen as a weakness or even as failure. And so we've learned to mask those emotions in doing these activities and staying busy and taking care of everyone else but ourselves, right? And so some things to help you start dealing and coping with not doing this anymore, right? And being able to deal with depression. Let's unmask some of the feelings. Some of us need to go to therapy. We know that. But even in journaling, we don't realize how powerful journaling can be, or voice recording yourself, allowing yourself to release some of the thoughts and not your tasks, not your accomplishments, but how you are actually feeling, releasing those things from yourself, right? And starting your day with a morning kind of ritual. And it could be prayer for some of you. It could be a grounding activity. It could be doing affirmations, anything that starts your day off and setting the tone, right? You may not feel like it, but something very small. And then ending your day with some kind of routine ritual that says, hey, the day is over. That could be lighting a candle. That could be putting on soft music. That could be turning off the lights and just sitting still, allowing yourself to have that, or even just soothing music, right? And being real about self-care and nourishment, truly finding the time to pour into yourself, whether that's through reading the word, whether that's through poetry, whether that's through walking, whether that's through, listening to something that is edifying and filling you up. These are some of the tools to help you, my sister, my fellow Black woman, how to stop staying busy, how to stop, I got to do this for everybody else while I'm drowning in what I'm feeling.
That's interesting. Dr. Lene, do you, because you are this high-powered, brand your brilliance boss babe, do you find it hard for you to have some level of vulnerability? Because I know, you had been single prior to this relationship, and you just working and you hustling and you grinding and I'm getting that degree and I'm getting that PhD and I'm building my business. I'm doing all this stuff. And do you find it hard to be vulnerable?
Yes, but not because of my accolades and who I am in that regard. The vulnerability more so comes from youthful, low self-esteem, lacking of value, promiscuity, right? I've told you guys before, my sixth grade boyfriend, my first little boyfriend in sixth grade used to call me BB and you, big, black, and ugly.
Yeah, so we still got to jump him. We still got to jump
that. Right. So I'm out the gates like, okay, I'm not going to be very vulnerable. I'm already hurt from a very young age. So I'm super, super, super protective of myself. And I'm shy, right? So when people see me or meet me when I'm younger, I'm under the impression that I'm not cute and I'm shy. So I look down a lot. I don't make a lot of eye contact. And then I get the reputation of being a bitch. So I'm all of these things. I have low self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super guarded and protective of myself because the people don't know me. But once you know me, you'll be like, oh, so, and I'm an introvert. People don't believe that because they see me today. Like, I'm still an introvert today. I'm still shy today, right now. What's today? Tuesday, April 15th. Still an introvert, still shy. But I'm an extroverted introvert. So I can get on here, I can talk, I can teach, I can get on stage, I can do all the things that I do. But when we're done, I'm by myself. I'm a loner as well. Okay. People don't get that part. But yeah, like it takes a lot to get me to lower my guard and let somebody in because I've been put out there too much. And I'm super, super soft. And I'm super, super sensitive. And I'm super feminine in a way that is opposite of what people think I am or who people think I am. So unless somebody gets to know me, they won't know that. They'll think I am the CEO boss that they see online. But if somebody gets to know me, they'll know I'm a geek, I'm a nerd, funny as hell, super laid back, super emotional. But you have to know me to know all that about me.
So what do you do for self-care? Because she talked about that part. So you have all of these things and these barriers and these walls and all the, the insecurities and the things that we've that have packed on over the years. What's that self-care thing that you do?
For me, oh man, what do I do? So I had to tell myself that going to get my nails done is not self-care. Like taking my hair done, my nails done, and like that's not self-care, Lene. So now I go and get massages. I take a trip. I'll take myself on a drive by myself. I take myself out to dinner. I'll go to the movies. Like I just do stuff to spend time with me. I check in with myself. I'll sit on my patio and I'll drink some coffee or some tea. And I just look at the stars and I just talk to God. Like, where am I at? How am I
That's self-care.
doing right now? I'm into stretching. I told you I'm gonna be 50 next year. So when I get up in the morning, my new ritual right now is stretching. Oh my God. It's a beautiful thing to stretch in the morning. I know I'm getting old, but I can see myself going past my toes and I can almost bend over and put my hands flat down. Like I'm loving just stretching and talking to myself in the morning and breathing. Because as an entrepreneur, we jump up and we go straight to brush our teeth, get to the email. No more email in the morning. Wake up. We're going to stretch. We're going to take a shower. We're going to brush our teeth. Maybe I'll check my email after that, but not for at least an hour after I wake up.
That's good. That's self-care. And, actually statistics show that those who stretch even more than exercise, they live a lot longer, believe it or not. So stretching is actually great self-care, but I love that. Like I just sit in my living room, and just look at the stars or just, it's a beautiful thing. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back because I want to ask all of you, all of those things. So we'll be right back.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
Lawrence Lamar, you don't have to apologize. That was just me and my, that was something personal I had going on with me. Y'all just happened to feel it. Nothing against you, brother. Anyway, so Noma, the same question for you. Do you ever, I don't know. I think you operate in your role pretty well. Do you ever have any issues being vulnerable or let's say this, because you were that boss, high achieving, person back then, when you did get married, did you have to do something to be more vulnerable?
Absolutely. I feel like I've had two lives, the before Noma and the after Noma. There was a time that I was, extremely hard. I think I've said it before here, like bitchy, irritable, domineering, rude, all of these things. And I had to eventually realize that some of it was because there was just too much on me. And when I began to learn to put away some things, focus better, cope better, I just became a different person. I began to learn how to soften. I think Dr. Alicia will find this funny. I mean, that word submit used to rub me the wrong way, It used to make me so mad. And I've made, a complete turnaround to the point where I now feel like it's something that I completely submit to. And it's something that I had to learn. I had to really learn those things. And it's a funny thing because when I watch the women in our family or in our culture, I felt like, no, they're too soft. They get taken advantage of. And my young adult life was like a reaction to, I'm never going to be, I'm not going to put up with, I'm not going to, and then eventually when I got older and more mature, I ended up being exactly who I said I was not going to be. because there's a reason why they are that way. It's because it works. It releases you from a lot of things. And it's actually where sometimes the things that we look at as weakness, those are strengths. It takes a lot of strength, actually, when somebody's all in your face saying something, to be quiet. But we feel like, you got to match up with people. A lot of the things that we see as weakness are actually really, really big strengths. And I had to learn that and mature into it.
Let me ask you this though, Noma. So you got to a place. What did you have to do to get to that place of vulnerability?
I had a complete breakdown at some point. I used to have like meltdowns where I would burst into tears, not knowing why, because the things were just too much, When you hear about people, well, I didn't take drugs or anything. When you hear about people who hit rock bottom before they realize that, okay, I got to do something different. That was my experience. Like I said, I used to be a full-time college professor. And then I had the nerve to also have a booming side hustle and still try to be a wife and still try to be a mom and then have all these other things. And that's not humanly possible. And I thought I could be, and that's another thing. I was that classic person who had something to prove. Like people say you can't do this, but I'm going to show them that you can do it. But no, you can't. Even if you do it and you excel at all of it, you implode. I had giant fibroids. I was having, like I said, these little meltdowns, and it was becoming evident that actually, no, that's not possible. You got to choose what's most important and put everything else away. And then maybe eventually add back things as you go along. But it was certainly learned later in life. I'm in my 40s now, but in my 20s, I was a completely different person.
Interesting. I want to see Nomalenga in her 20s. I want to see that chick. I want to see what she was talking about. Dr. Alicia, so for you, I know, I would think because you're a therapist, maybe you're more evolved than the rest of us. Have you ever found yourself maybe not wanting to be vulnerable or having a hard time with your vulnerability?
I love being vulnerable. By the way, the word submission doesn't make me mad. I just feel like that terminology, we need to use a different term. Be more descriptive in what we mean by it, and be more graphic.
Comply.
Be more descriptive, because I do believe that the things in the Bible are beautiful and profound on a metaphysical level, on a spiritual level. So I see it as a spiritual thing. So I do agree that your conscious and so that part I really believe. It's a double-edged sword what we're talking about today. It's like, how wonderful is it to be reliable, to be responsible, to be smart, to get it done, to be achievers? Like, these are all the things that are beautiful. And at the same time, when you err too far on that one side, it's very difficult to be vulnerable, like what Lene was talking about. And you have to be able to let other people take care of you. And so that is where you just need to think about that. Don't avoid intimacy. Don't avoid people, relaxing, and don't feel guilty for participating in self-care. So it's just really being able to do all the things that you have a purpose of doing in life. But at the same time, asking for help, saying that you're sorry. It's okay to make a mistake. Don't feel guilty because you get a massage and you just let things go. I just think that we need to shift our mindset a little bit about the fact that we have to be perfect, because think about it. I'm a college professor. I am a full professor of social work. I have sit at tables that were horrific. I make one mistake, and I, as a person, am a mistake. Do you know how hard that is? I have accomplished things that nobody at my university has accomplished. But if I make one mistake, all of that is forgotten. And I have to sit and explain myself. I'm just not doing it anymore. So it is the world that we live in, and we need to stop it. We need to just be like, I do not care what y'all think of me. Because I care what my husband thinks of me. I care what my children thinks of me. And that is the biggest goal there. You have to keep in perspective that your job is not your everything. I'm no good to my clients if I don't take care of myself. So I don't schedule appointments during certain times. I don't apologize. Like, you're going to have to book 2 or 3 weeks ahead because I have to take care of myself. I'm not going to be good for you. So I do think, thank you, Joe Carly. I really love this. You know, can it exist in the same space? I think you have to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to be able, you know, if you have trouble in your, here's the issue. If it's too far skewed to this masculine thing of accomplishment and doing things, then that means that your personal life is going to suffer. Just like what Nomalanga was talking about, your personal life is going to suffer if you cling too heavily to getting it done and all of that. So you really have to learn how to back off of that and ask for help. Our husbands can help us and other people in our family can help us. It's okay to be comfortable with that.
Yeah. When you talked about feeling guilty, I remember when I was building, I felt guilty every time I wasn't busy. I felt guilty every time I wasn't working. Like I need to be doing something. I need to be productive. That was always in my mind. I got to be productive. Got to keep moving. Aisha, I know that you're a wife first. Like you didn't say it. I help people. I strategize their wealth, but I'm a wife first. In that though, have you found any, you know, had it been hard, or were you just raised to be vulnerable and just kind of operate in your femininity because culturally that's what happens?
Sometimes it's hard. It just depends on what's going on, right? Because we're still human. We you know, we're going to make mistakes, and sometimes we'll be overwhelmed, and other times it's just, again, like Dr. Alicia saying, finding the balance if it's even possible, which I don't think is possible. It's a matter of picking what is more important at a particular time and redirecting your mind, right? But for me, you know, the funny thing, as you're all speaking, I was just thinking about all the friends that I have, and why is it that it's our women that are going to be put in this space like this, right? And I realized that all the other women go through the same thing. Everything you're talking about today, they go through the same thing, including myself. And at the end of the day, you know, it's just accepting that I can't do everything. To me, that's where I've come to agree to myself. I can't do everything. Yeah. And I feel comfortable asking my husband for help. I say, honey, you know what? I can't do this. Can you take care of it? I will send him a list and you take care of it. I don't feel I have to do everything myself. And also try to stay in my role as a wife, because it's so funny. Before we got married, we actually went to this retreat that you have to go to before you get married. It's a whole weekend retreat. And during that retreat, we were asked to actually discuss who is going to be responsible for this particular part of your family life. You know, even though, you know, I got married here, but I was grateful that we had that, because back home, it's clear what my roles are. But yeah, here, it's like, how do I decide? So this retreat allows us, as, you know, engaged couple, to discuss what is going to be your role in your relationship. And I was able to feel comfortable saying, I'll be housewife. I will cook the meals and clean the house and make sure everything is organized. And my husband will be the provider, even though I'm a professional. But at the end of the day, that's my role. So then what I do as a professional is kind of secondary, right? Because I allow myself to be that vulnerable to agree that even though I have a degree, it's okay that I'm the housewife and I'm fine with it. So that helped me to calm down a little bit, so I don't have to feel stressed. I have to do everything. And also ask my husband for help, or whoever's around me for help, and my friends, my girlfriends, my church, and just ask for help. Really, that is the big thing. We have to be comfortable asking for help and not feel that we have to know everything and be everything. We can't. It's not possible. It's even tiring to think like that. You know, I just want to be a good person. You know, if you need my help, I will help you. If I need help, I can ask you for help. And to make it easy.
Thank you for saying that, because I'm gonna need all y'all's help. Okay. I need everybody to help me. Yeah. My Cash App is $. No, I'm kidding. Let's go to another break, and then that's kind of help I need, y'all. I need to send me a Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, Apple Pay. I take it all. Let's go to break. We'll be back.
Hello, everyone. I'm Felice Hightower Brett, and I'm a licensed clinical mental health therapist and the Be Big coach. I'm also partnering with Fly Nubian Money to host a powerful and transformational workshop titled Your Trauma is in Your Transactions. This isn't your average money talk, ladies. We're going deeper. So many Black women are struggling with their finances and their relationship with money, not because we're bad with it, but because of the trauma from our past, generational patterns, survival mindsets, and simple shame that we've carried for years. Aren't you tired of the paycheck to paycheck saga? I hope so. Sis, it's time to stop surviving and start thriving. And it all begins this Saturday, April 19th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Start healing financially, emotionally, and mentally. I can't wait to see you there.
Trauma in your transactions, you guys. Make sure you sign up for the Fly Nubian Money Club. Dr. Felice, she is our resident therapist, and she is pretty dope and freaking amazing. All right, we're going to go to our last video, and then let's talk about it. But you know what? Listen, you guys, this is a really rich, I know I joke around because that's just who I am. I'm like you, though, Dr. Lene. I am an introvert. So this is right here. But then in person, I'd be like somewhere in the corner, and they're like, wait a minute, but it's, you know how to turn on, turn off. I mean, when we're done, I want to be in the corner somewhere and talking to nobody. So I get it. But let's look at the last video. But this has been such a rich conversation. I love having these engaging conversations with such brilliant women and brilliant minds coming from different perspectives, clearly from different cultures all over the world, the Black diaspora. It's a beautiful thing. So this is great. I'm loving this. Let's look at this last video.
We are not crazy. NYU has just done a study that showed that depression appears differently in Black women, which is why it is often very hard to catch. And here are some of the symptoms that we exhibit that may not show up in other people. So on top of your regular depressive symptoms, Black women, they found, often show things like fatigue, insomnia, decreased libido, and then on top of that, self-blame and self-hate. And that was one of the things when they did a couple controlled studies, they found to be the marked difference is that while most people with depression feel that hopelessness and that loss of motivation, Black women on top of that feel self-blame and self-hate. So not only are you suffering from the depression, but then you have kind of a self-imposed and internalized blaming going on and shaming yourself and being angry with yourself for experiencing the depression, which can make it feel like an even heavier blanket than it already is. And one of the other things I found interesting about the study is that it also reported that depression can show up as irritability in Black women. We know from a previous video that I did and some other research that anxiety can show up that way for us too. And also I found this interesting. They found that Black women with depression exhibited an inability to experience pleasure more than other races of women in the study. And I found that very, very interesting because I'm not here to get up in your business, but I talked to a lot of Black women, and a lot of women are disconnected from their sexuality in the way that they don't feel like they're fully able to experience pleasure in the way they should be. And I find it interesting that this study has linked that to depression. And I also think it's interesting because you probably have heard, as many of us have talking to our girlfriends, women in long-term relationships where, oh, she's always tired, she never wants to sleep with me, and it becomes a relationship issue when that could actually be a symptom of depression. So I love that we're starting to get some backing and some representation in psychological studies, because I do believe that Black women have a different level of need. And maybe it's not a different level of need, we need specific care. And
wow. So I was like, okay, at first I was thinking, yo, I may have been depressed because, I was sleepy. But then she said lack of libido. And I was like, yeah, no, that ain't me. I ain't depressed, dog. So I don't know nothing about it. I guess I'm good. We good. We Gucci over here. So anyway, Aisha, let's give your final thought based upon what she said. I don't know. What do you think? What are your final thoughts? And we're going to get out of here.
Final thought and what I thought, for the video, when she was speaking, I saw the video. What I didn't accept when she said Black women have self-hate. Hate for what? No, we don't hate ourselves. Maybe that's what the study is saying, but I refuse to accept that we hate ourselves. Maybe we don't like a particular thing about what we're doing that we don't like. That's fine, but we don't hate ourselves. I think that we should, if that is true, we should stop it, because no. We are made in the image of God, and hate of self should not even be part of how we think about ourselves. We may like something that we don't have, but the idea that we hate ourselves, I'm sorry, I don't want that to be something that is associated with us as women, and as human beings. I don't want that. But I appreciate the, what she was saying, and yes, if you're overtired and you're working all day long, you're going to have low libido. I don't care who you are, whether you're Black, it doesn't matter. So let's be realistic here. If a woman is overworked, she's gone to work all day, she comes home and do all the work again, of course she's going to have low libido. So the goal is, how can we help her get less on her plate? so that she can actually enjoy being with her husband or her family members, right? That's how what should be focusing on. And where can you find me? You can find me at the Black Business School. I'm one of the coaches there. I specialize in insurance and retirement planning. So just hit me up there. I am ready to help and support our sisters and our brothers as well, because we can do it. We can do it.
Yeah, good stuff. I agree. I think for a lot of Black women, we love the hell out of ourselves, right? We have some self-esteem like a mug. Now, maybe we may not think that we deserve certain things. So we may have a sense of like, maybe I don't deserve it, but I know we be having some self-esteem. Like we believe in ourselves. We believe in God. We believe we are the shit. But we just may not believe that we actually deserve something. So that's definitely interesting. Dr. Alicia, what do you think about what she said? Therapize us and give your final thoughts on that.
No, what she says again makes perfect sense. I think we internalize our mistakes as if we are mistakes. So we're internalizing some of these messages that we're getting. We blame ourselves for failure, and we're not looking at the entire picture. There's a whole system in the world that we all live in. And as a social worker, I do help a lot of women deconstruct some of that. Yeah, some of it might be you, but some of it could be the system that we're in. Listen, Black women, it's time for us to take off our capes. And we need to start realizing that Black does crack, but it cracks from within on and out. And we just can't live up to these high standards. And just know that you're not alone. If anything from this conversation today, all of us are all in the same boat, experiencing some of the same things. Please take your self-care seriously and try not to feel guilty about it. This is time for you to carve out what you need for yourself so you can be who you can be for your family. Everybody, please follow me on Instagram, Coaching with Dr. Alicia. You can contact me there at my website, Coaching with Dr. Alicia.
Okay. So I want to say to freedom. I'm not going to tell you to go to hell, but I'm going to tell you to go to hell. Noma, ain't nobody doing no polygamy shit. Out of here with that bull. Noma, what do you think about what she said, and what are your final thoughts?
I think there is also some validity to it. One of the things that I was thinking is that when we blame ourselves or we're hard on ourselves, it's sometimes because it's the image that society has of us. So as you develop and evolve as a woman, it's important for you to come into yourself, love yourself, accept yourself. Little nugget here. I remember the first time I cut my hair, I was terrified because I didn't know how it would look. But then I just kind of thought to myself, well, you know what? This is a challenge. Can you love yourself no matter what, without the hair, without the braids or whatever else it is? And then when you can do that, then you've kind of move closer to that self-acceptance and that self-love, and that's a good place to start. Then the second thing that I did want to say is it is important to understand what your priorities are and don't feel guilty about giving everything that you have or most of what you have to what's important to you and what you value, and also taking care of yourself. I think it's very, very important to have a good support system. I think it's important to have a spouse, but even beyond a spouse, extended family, friends, community, if you go to church, if you have clubs, societies, all of those things are very important because we're really not created to be successful on our own or by ourselves. Where you can find me, my name is Nomalanga Mhlauli Moses. That's how it appears on Facebook. I am a big Facebooker. That's where I spend most of my social media time. You can contact me there. You can find me there. I do have an Instagram. It's Noma Moses. I also do have my own YouTube channel. And as always, I do ask for your support. We have a charity or a foundation in Botswana that serves period poverty young girls who sometimes can't go to school because when they're on their periods, they don't have the necessary supplies. We started a foundation to help with this. It's passforourgirls.com. If you feel led to support us, please do go to passforourgirls.com and donate. Thank you.
Amen. Nomalanga is the consummate get somebody else to do it. You have many options, but I'm not one of them. That shit will never get old. You hear me? Noma said, so I think the question was, what do you do when your husband needs you to step up and you got to pay some bills? She said, he got many options. I'm not one of them. Listen, drop the mic right there, sis. Get somebody else to do it. I love it. Dr. Lene, what are your final thoughts? What do you think about what she said? And what are your final thoughts?
My final thought is this. I did, what was that? Fly Nubian Money Club a couple of weeks ago. And I was promoting my Brilliant AF course, and the amount of Black women that were on that training who showed up and said that they have to be strong every day. They got to put their cape on every day. They have to show up in the world strong every day. But I said, what does the world look like for you if you got to be vulnerable? And they said, I could breathe. They said, I could have new friendships. They said I could live life in peace. I could have peace. And so that broke my heart to know that we are out here in this world and we're strong and we're educated and we're all the things, but we're not necessarily whole. We're not necessarily happy. We're not necessarily thriving. We're not necessarily living our best life, but we're strong and we're broadcasting strength. Somebody asked up here earlier, what's wrong with being strong? Nothing is wrong with being strong as long as you also get to be soft. Nothing is wrong with being strong as long as you also get to be vulnerable. Nothing is wrong with being strong as long as you have something to balance it. So you're not only strong, but you can be whole, you can be complete, you can be soft and strong and feminine and vulnerable and cry. You can do all the things, right? As Black women, we have the power to do anything we want to do. We can be anything we want to be. We can be a wife, we can be a mother, we can be an entrepreneur, a business owner, we can be a fireman, anything, doesn't matter what you want to do, right? And so that's what I want us to walk away from this. If academics is something that you want to pursue and degrees is something you want to pursue, do it. Don't do it to hide something, right? If you're hiding something or if you're in pain or you need healing, see somebody about it. Be all of it. Be empowered, be bold, be an entrepreneur, be a wife, but be healed, be soft, be feminine, be vulnerable. Talk about the things that you're dealing with and the things that you're going through. Like Constance said, at the end of the month, we are having Black Power, Powher, where it is a group of Black women. They literally come to talk about business, but we also talk about how to be just a more empowered Black woman and live in what we have to live with and deal with what we have to deal with on a day-to-day. So if you're interested, you can come right there, blackpower.com.
I love it. That, you know what, you guys all wrapped it up in a bow. I work with Black women every day. I have the Net 7 Collective. And when I, built this business and I sat back and I kind of put my business on hold, I was trying to decide, okay, what is it that I really want to do in this iteration of my life? And gratefully, I'm grateful that I was able to do that. I had, I had some investments that allowed me to just kind of figure out, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? Who do I want to help? How do I want to live in my purpose? And I started the Net 7 Collective. And that is exactly that. That's her, the epitome of her, the woman who is everything to everybody, the Black woman who is a wife, a mother, she's successful. She is, she needs a circle. She's a unicorn. She's somebody who there's nobody like her in her circle. She needs other women, to thrive and to survive. And so I'm so grateful that I had that. So last night we had our study hall, and just being around those women, it just gives me fuel. So if you guys could find just a group, something, because iron sharpens iron. There's the African proverb that says that when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. And so Black women, we're going to, whatever you give us, if you give us a house, we're going to make a home. If you give us food, we're going to make a meal. You give us some sperm, we're going to make a baby, like all the things. Right. And so that's just who we are as Black women. And so if you don't have a circle, and if this is you, like you need somebody, you need a circle of Black women who can hold you up when you're weak, who will celebrate you when you accomplish things, when you're failing, they can pull you back. We all have a journey. We all get there at different times. But for the ones who get there first, we applaud each other. Yay. And for the ones who have made it, we reach them back and we pull the other ones along and say, come on, sis, let's go. You have somebody like that. You need somebody like that in your life. So I do that with the Net 7 Collective. And it is amazing to see the lives changed and touched and all the great things that they are. Like, I'm so proud. Most of these women, y'all, are older than me. Right. Most of them are like in their 60s, some in their 70s, some even 80s. Like Dr. Emma is 81, Dr. Emma Frazier. And I'm seeing them out there like they didn't know what they wanted to do when they grew up. And now they're like doing the stuff that I'm telling them to do and they're killing it. And I'm just like, I'm like a proud mama to the mamas, right? So it's a beautiful thing. So if you're interested in the Net 7 Collective, go to bookwithconstance.com and book a call with me. Let's talk about it and see if you would be a good fit for our community, because it is all of that. You have that support because we are all those women. We are all of that. So let me end with this, y'all. Let me end with this. At the end of the day, success should feel like freedom. Okay. It should not feel like pressure. If the pursuit of a degree, a title, or a salary is costing you your peace, it might be time to reevaluate that price. You are not your resume, sis. You are worthy of love. You're worthy of healing and joy, and simply because you exist. So let's stop grinding just to prove that we are enough and start growing, because we already are. So thank you guys for tuning into the Fly Nubian Money. Really quick, I want to just take a look at some stats before we head on out, because I want to leave you with this. Black women often show signs of high functioning depression, overachieving perfectionism, and using success to mask pain. We got to let that go. We got to throw that away. Okay. A UNC study found that Black women who experienced significant disadvantages early in life had a 34% higher risk of depression, regardless of later success. We got to throw that away. We need to get around a circle of women who can help us. And then the cultural expectation for Black women to be strong and self-reliant leads to emotional suppression and using success as a mask. You need a circle of sisters that can undergird you. Get with somebody that can undergird you. Get your sisters. I know your husbands is great. I look at all these married women up here. Your husbands are great, but you need a circle of sisters that can help to undergird you to get you to the next, help get you to the next level. All right. We're going to see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. We appreciate y'all. Peace. See you, ladies.